Hi guys, this is Allison Pryor. I just wanted to show you some painting techniques, basic painting techniques, and just thought you might be interested if you're a beginner. It's just always something new to learn. So I'll just have some colors up here so I can show you a few things I'm going to do. What you can do first is you can use what we call wet on wet paint. So what that is you can get a brush, any brush at all. It can be a bristle brush or any kind of brush at all, synthetic. And when you work wet on wet, you first of all put on, say, some green paint. So you put on your green paint. Now that green paint is wet. So now when you want to work again, you put on some more paint, and this time it can be a different color. And if you wanted to put some color on there, you'll be working wet on wet. So you'll have red over your green, and you'll sort of blend it together. That's what wet on wet is for blending colors together. And that's what I mostly use it for. So if you want to go back in, put some more green in here, and then you can work the two of them together. See, and that way you can blend. It's good for skies. When you want to blend white into the blue to make a nice sky. So that's how you do wet on wet. Now when you want to do wet on dry, it's a painting technique called wet on dry. So these here are dry. I put them on for you. So your paint underneath would be dry, and then the paint that you put on top will be wet. So you put some paint on top of your dry, and that way you don't want it to blend. You want to put some paint over it so it won't blend. You might want to tap on some paint. You might want to do something that requires the paint underneath to be dry. So wet on wet is for blending the paints together, and wet on top of dry paint is for when you don't want the colors to blend together. And then we have another thing called splattering. Now splattering is fun. Splattering is great for if you're doing a beach and you need beach rocks. Well, what you would do is you would take some paint, it could be white paint, and you have to wet your brush. You can use a toothbrush. You just put some paint on it, and you have it wet enough so that when you pull on the bristles, they're going to splatter. See that? Did you see that? Okay, so let's see. Maybe I should use a darker color just so you can see it. Let's try this one. So you can see it splattering all over the place. There we go. So that's great for small pebbles on the beach. It's great for if you're doing rocks and you want to make it look like they're different colors. You can splatter all different colors on one area. So if you're doing a beach, and beach has gray sand, you might want to splatter white, and then you can splatter black, and then you have all these little pebbles. And then, so that's splattering. And next you can use well, you could use a sponge if you want, or I'm just using a little bit of, I don't have a sponge here right now, but just get a sponge. But this is also just wrapping, plastic wrap. And you can take some plastic wrap and you can dip it into some colors, and you can just pull that on there like that, and that will give you some different, great for abstract painting too. So you can put that on there just by touching. Now look at all those pretty colors. If you use 2 colors or 3 colors or 4, like you can tap into different colors, and then you'll get all kinds of different colors going on. And look at that, just like that. You got an abstract paint. Oh, there you are. You missed that, didn't you? Okay, there we go. Do it again. I'll do it again. So I got my plastic wrap, and I'm just dipping into a bit of red and a bit of blue, maybe a bit of green, and I'm just tapping, see what comes out, and look, it's just like you can make a beautiful abstract painting without having to do much at all, only tap, tap, tap. See, isn't that cool? Now, what else have we got here that we can show you? Might be a little interesting. So maybe we could do some paint. We'll put some wet paint on our palette. So we'll just put some blue or purple, doesn't matter. So we'll just put some paint on there. And then you can, a lot of these techniques are good for abstracts, I think. So you can take a bit of tissue and you can take your bit of tissue and while that's still wet, you just take a bit of tissue and then tap it into that, and you can take out some paint. So you can lift it out while it's wet. Okay, there we go, and that gives you a nice little technique, lifting out. Perfect. What else can I show you? How about the palette knife? The palette knife is great for all kinds of things if you wanted to make different colors. Like I said, a lot of this is great for abstract painting, so I may, you know, you may be able to put a nice abstract painting using these techniques. So I'm just using a little palette knife, and make sure you can see this. You can just take your knife and just rub across using the bottom of your knife so you can get all the colors on there. So just fill it up with colors, different colors, and pull it through, and look at all those pretty colors you get. See? Abstract paintings. Yes. And now we have another one where you can dry brushing. I do a lot of dry brushing in my paintings, and dry brushing is good, it's fun. It's all you got to do is put some paint. I'm going to go with this up here, this brown piece up here. See if you can see it there. Now I'm going to make sure that I keep an eye on my camera because I'm trying to keep it close enough so you can see it, and I don't want to forget to move it. So I got some brown paint on my brush and maybe some white, brown and white. And I'm going to wipe it off. I'm just going to wipe it off so that just not a big lot left on my brush. And then I'm going to dry brush this over there, and that will leave some streaks, which makes it look like maybe you got some nice rough brush stroke. And that, like if you're doing like a cabin or a house and you want it to look like old shingles on there or old clapboard, that works for that. And then you can just go across. Look, I'm barely touching the canvas, okay? That's just dry brushing. Good. Some of these you may like and some you may not like. You know, you may like some different types of paintings. And I think a lot of this is great for, like I say, abstract. Especially this one here. So that was just plastic wrap. Something else I wanted to show you was what I call is glazing. So what you can do is what I did was I took some paint, I took blue, and I put it in this little jug, and I added water to it. I don't want to spill it. So what I'm doing is, it's really watery. See? It's really watery, but you can still see, you can see through it. It's a transparent. I add water to my paint, and then and it's nice and watery. So what I use that for, or what you can use that for, is you can go over, say if you got blue, say you got a blue sky right here, and you're finished painting it, and now the paint's all dry. Now you're going to say, oh gosh, I got to go over that. Now if I go over it with the opaque paint, then what's going to happen is I'm going to cover up everything I did. I like what I have. I just want to add some more blue to it. So you can take this blue paint. It's hard to see it there now, but if that blue was lighter, the paint, if that sky was lighter, you'd be able to see how it tints it even darker. It gives it a tint. And also, if you want to change the green, say that green, you want to change, you want to give it a darker green, or you want to change it a little bit, change the tone of the paint. Let's try the red, see what happens. I'm just using blue, but you can use any colors. That didn't change it too much, but it is a glaze. Yep. What about this one? I probably don't have enough paint in my... Let me try and add a little bit more paint. Let's see. Alright. So if you don't think it's... But you still need to see through it. So don't make it so thick that you cover up everything underneath what you did, okay? So I'll just add a bit more blue and see will that help. Make sure it's nice and watery. Make sure it's nice and watery and see-through. Let's see, let's see. Oh yeah, there we go, that's better. I just needed to add a bit more paint to my water. And that dark, see how it darkens the red really nice, but yet you still have what you did underneath. See that? Good. Let's try it on the green. Like I said, you can try different glazes to see what the techniques are. Okay. If I forget to move the camera, I'll make sure you get to see it a second time anyway. So here we go. So I'm going to darken this one up a little bit. So you can put as many glazes on as you want. Let's see. Put a glaze on here. There we go. See how it darkens it up a nice bit? Even darkens up your purple. Let's see how we do with the green. So these are glazes, and like I said, you can change the color, or you can darken the color without destroying it. So glazing is kind of nice too. Look, you can even put it on, especially if you put it on over white, it's going to change the color a little bit to the blue. So there. Now, what else can I show you that could benefit you? If you have any requests to show anything, just let me know, because there's so much to learn in painting. You know, you can learn a lot in painting. Another one that you might be interested in is scraping out. Now, it's good for oil paint. I don't know if it's any good for... Let's try, say we're trying to put some grass in. Let's just just scrub that out. We won't tap. We just scrub. There we go. And we can take our palette knife, or the end of your brush, and pull out some grass or some trees. Let's see if I can get you closer so you can see what I'm doing. Now, hopefully that will clear up a bit. There we go. So I put on wet paint. The paint has to be wet, and the canvas underneath has to come through. So if you want to make, like if you made a tree, I'll just put a tree there. So you made a tree, and what you wanted to do was look like you have some nice branches coming off your tree. So you can pull it out with the back of this, with a toothpick, with your palette knife. So I think that's all the tips I have for you right now. And if that was a bit of a help, I hope it was. And if you want me to show you anything else that you can think of, I'll be glad to show you how to use. I believe I have some videos up on how to use a fan brush or how to use a liner brush. I could probably do another video for you on that anyway. So anyway, that's it for now. You got any questions, just let me know. Just leave a comment in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video.